Good morning, family out there in Facebook land. This is your host, Dr. Positive. Welcome to Liberia Shall Rise. This is another edition of the show. This one is Zogos and the Rise of Liberia. Zogos and the Rise of Liberia. Folks, why what is called Zogos in Liberia? What is the essence of actually eradicating or eliminating the name Zogo from our dictionary in Liberia? So join me this morning. Let's talk about Zogos and the rise of Liberia, the importance, the key thing we need to do to get rid of Zogos in Liberia, or to actually not get rid of them, but to embed them into our society, to make them to be part of Liberia, the future that we seek, to make sure that by the time we reach to Liberia, where we want Liberia to be when Liberia rise, we will not have what is called Zogos anymore. So join me this morning. Let's talk about Zogos and the rise of Liberia. I'm going to start with this song by Dakon J featuring a whole lot of people's Expole, Lucky Boy, Ben Man. All these great artists came together to create this song called My Part Not Boarding. My Partner Balling, the remix actually. So this song is by Dakon J featuring Espole, Lucky Boy, Ben Man, and so many people came up together to do this song. It's called My Partner Balling. So a lot of Zogos out there today, their part are not balling, and your part is balling. So the question here is, what can we do as Liberians to make sure that we don't have Zogos, or that our people, our countrymen are fed and taken care of? So again, this is Liberia Shall Rise. This topic is Zogos and the rise of Liberia. So listen to the song. After the song finishes, I'm going to get right into the topic, okay?
This is another hip hop classic.
Oh, na, na, na. Oh, yeah. Na, na.
Come to me, got Jojo, like a bucket. I got fresh on the wall. Hey, what's up? Come to me, talk to me.
Pulling, my parking board. $50, my fella dog.
Party, fucking ball. You got to let it go. You hold to the hole, I don't everybody pot in my fucking ball. The only time I fucking ball when it got get it done. The struggle keep killing me, I ain't even got jaw. I got to hustle hard to buy my baby rubber jaw. The economic system 5-4, general rap, but they was growing hot, so I gotta speak the fact. You think I'm talking crap? No, I'm talking rap. Got some survivors while my nigga doing old school. Some people say we fool, some people say we go to school. Some people still asking what I do it for the youth. The government breaking, so the youth is still checking. No entertainment, so we're making no money. I'm telling it to y'all, I ain't having no jaw. That's what I stand for. I'm fucking ball.
Russia in the city, and keep you some dust. I'm not calling. Surely say she be leaving me tonight, but I'm not calling. Yellow say I should leave tomorrow, but I'm not calling. See now what I go do, what do I go do, which kind of hustle I go hustle now. See now what I go do, what I go do, which kind of hustle I go hustle now.
Na 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 na.
Everybody clap balling, but my pocket ball. Now everybody fucking shot, but why I can't call? The whole cover hole, that the whole hustle. Send me you owe me one bottle. Now everybody for the set, only call for all. I hope it's call for y'all. They want to buy and conquer all in the whole music game. Let me tell you what it is. See the thing, the common people still don't know how to think they will learn. Because the other common man get common sense. I'm a common sense. Maybe to be intelligent, I understand all that BB10. Oh, you better not get no content. I want you as a president to my TV talk. Now be soft to that return and the building control development. So embezzlement to the money to echo band, building all up from the dance, supporting our resources, but it's putting back. We can never see no profit. Now we need a profit to come and take off from poverty. The prosperity for people crying every day.
Big masters, everybody back falling, back and forth. To the dollars, you gotta fall and down. Come home, not a war. Papa coming home, you can just
I'm like a prophet on the cross. I'm speaking them the message, but no one can hear my voice. I can downplay, I'll be my talent, never live the every message that I brought to them. It's I'm business. I'm about with Paul, I support. Yeah, mama come
Folks, welcome to Liberia Shall Rise. Welcome to Liberia Shall Rise. Please share the video. I'm going to be doing the same so we can invite a few people before we get started, okay? And this is my partner, Ballin' by Dakon J, Espole, and a whole lot of Liberian artists. Enjoy the song, okay?
You gotta double up. Sometimes temptation come your way. When my pass out of ball,
That's all.
I'm in the whole LIB.
They're gonna know what's up.
What's up?
They're gonna know what's up.
Life so hard. It seem a little nigga gotta hustle just to keep on a job. And they see it's only politics, but it's just some college tricks. Niggas all about getting the dollar shit. This is for my hood niggas in the G hustle. And for
so now what you never do? So what play I go do? Which kind of hustle I go hustle now? So now what you never do? So what you never do? Which kind of hustle I go hustle
Everybody pop balling, but my pocket ball. Now everybody cutting shop, but why I can't call the whole cover hole, that the whole hustle. Send me hold you owe me one bottle. Now everybody for the sale, only call for all. I hope you call for you, they want divine congo all in the whole music game. Let me tell you what it is. They think the common people still don't know how to think they will land. Because they all are common man get common sense. I'm a common sense. Maybe to be intelligent, I understand all that PB 10. Oh, you barely better get no content. I don't want you as a president, too much TV talk. Now be soft to that return and the building control development. So embezzlement to the money to echo band, building all up from the dance, supporting our resources, but it's putting back. We can never see no profit. Now we need a profit to come and take off from poverty. The prosperity for people crying every day.
Big masters, everybody back falling, back and forth. To the dollars, you gotta fall and down. Come home, not a war. Papa coming home, you can just
I'm like a prophet on the cross. I'm speaking them the message, but no one can hear my voice. I can downplay, I'll be my talent, never live the every message that I brought to them. It's I'm business. I'm about with Paul, I support. Yeah, mama come in here and bang to the horse. I just stop my hustle, I'm a real true believer. Give on the Caesar, what? We on the Caesar. Now for my one, but the second mama like you, what? Don't you say that so you be a cabin? Who know hoping on the Lord that my life be established? Then I try, I think about my past. As a hustler, you gotta be strong in the faith. You gotta double up, sometimes temptation come your way. When my pass out of ball, out the ball, the whole LIB, they gonna know what's up, they gonna know what's up. Okay, life so hard. It seem a little nigga gotta hustle just to keep on a job. And they see it's only politics, but it's just some college tricks. Niggas all about getting the dollar shit. This is for my hood niggas in the G hustle. And for all my single mothers struggling and suffering. No more election, niggas do a selection. That's why them niggas always using a deadly weapon. And so all my youth, them better keep your head up. Wake up in the morning, make your bed, get your break up. Even the leadership, there's some DRIT. But only Charles Taylor in the egg, ICC. Even the leadership, there's some DRIT. But only Charles Taylor in the egg, ICC.
everybody pop party, back and ball. You gotta go flat, God. I don't want my soul. So back up in home.
get back. Everybody pop body, my fucking balls. So I said, lady, see horse. I said, G.O., when y'all will pass the flow, how long will be simple like Joe? D.O., come on, hold like a horse.
So welcome to Liberia Shall Rise. This is your host, Dr. Positive. Again, this song is one of my most favorite songs because the kids talk about everything from poverty, development, corruption. Everything is going on in this song. Listen. So. Everybody pop, ballin', bump, back and bump. Dollar, on fire like dog. You over the hole. Yeah, oh, so. On fire like dog. Hustle on. Now what you gonna do? Hustle on. Na 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 na. Welcome to Liberia Shall Rise. This is your host, Dr. Positive, with another edition of Liberia Shall Rise. Zogos and the rise of Liberia. Zogos and the rise of Liberia. Why do we classify some members of our society as Zogos? Why do we classify some members of our society as Zogos? Why do we look down on people in our society and say these are Zogo, and we give them particular name? We call them gangsters in other country. We call them ghetto boys in other country. We call them Bana men and Bana boys in some situations, right? But why is this bad for our society? Why is this evil that we are committing in our society? Again, join me. Let's talk about it. Let's have this discussion. I'm just going to do some administrative stuff. Once I'm done with it, then we'll get right into the show. So today, Liberia Shall Rise is actually sponsored by the Celebrated Banquet Hall. Liberia Shall Rise is actually sponsored today by the Celebrated Banquet Hall. This is Celebrated Banquet Hall. They're actually going to be having an event on, actually a grand opening on May 1st, 2021. May 1st, 2021. Take a screenshot. This is the address. This is a Liberian-owned business, a new banquet hall that has just been opened in the DFW area. This is the address. You want to go there, have your wedding, your baby shower, your divorce shower, all those stuff. You want to have it there. Celebrate your event at the Celebrated Banquet Hall. You know, the same way you all celebrate when you're getting married. When you guys are partying, you need to celebrate to your have party so we can come and celebrate. They split up as well. Even boyfriend, girlfriend, meeting party, you want to have it there. You reach out to them and they will definitely host your event. No matter what the event is, you just call them and they will be willing to host you over there. Again, this is owned by our own Liberian. Her name is Sophia White. She's the owner of this banquet hall. You want to go and support her. Let's support our own Liberian business. Again, we'll make it full screen. This is the grand opening of the Celebrated Banquet Hall, Saturday, May 1st. In Dallas, Texas. The address is 2900 Walnut Hill Lane, and Suite 200 is Dallas, Texas. And the event is at 7:30 p.m. 7:30 p.m. to 12 a.m. So if you go there, you're gonna go and see the place for free, enter, have fun, and enjoy the celebration. And I will be the MC that day. I'm gonna be the master of ceremony or the member of the clergy. Whatever you define MC, I'm going to be your MC that day. So you want to come and see Dr. Positive performing, actually being the MC, the master of ceremony at that event. So please join me on May 1st at 7:30 at the Celebrated Banquet Hall. Now, next year, we have our own brother, our own Liberian brother. He's actually running for councilman in the DFW area. So if you are in any of these zip codes, if you are in any of these zip codes, let me make this big for you. If you are in any of these zip codes, you want to go and vote for Mr. Councilman, I'll call him Councilman Theodore O'Connor Gray for Fort Worth Councilman. You want to go and vote for him? Let's have another brother from the community. I mean, his policy is for trusted leadership, education, equality, and justice, creation of opportunity. We want opportunity to be created, folks. We need jobs. We need people that will talk about jobs, people that been there, people that been in the situation we have been in to help us create opportunities for us. So vote for Councilman O'Connor. Councilman O'Connor Gray, Theodore O'Connor Gray. He's going to be running for Fort Worth District number 2. And if you are in any of these zip codes, please go and vote. They have early voting going on right now, so you can go and vote right after the show. You can go and vote and say, Dr. Pastor, they say I should come and vote. All right, so that's it for the how you call it, administrative stuff. But our topic today, folks, is Zogos and the rise of Liberia. Who are Zogos? Who do we call Zogos? What is the country doing to help them? What is Liberia doing to help them? How can they be helped? Right? If the country is not doing anything, how can they be helped? How can these people be helped? What programs are available to help them? And the dangers that we will have as Liberians if we do not do anything for our Zogos, if we absolutely do not do anything for the people that we call Zogos in Liberia, if we don't do anything, what will happen to our country, right? If we do not take any actions to help the people that we call Zogos in Liberia. So folks, this is an interesting topic. You can actually call in later on, tell me what you think about Zogos, the impact of Zogos on Liberia if we don't do anything. So I'm going to actually go to the Webster dictionary right now. Actually, Mariam Webster says the meaning of Zogos, right? They said Zogos, sometimes, according to the Mariam Webster, it says something that is sacred or holy to the people of the Torres Strait. That's a country called the Torres Strait, right? I'm going to bring your pen and paper. I'm taking you guys to school today. I'm actually taking you to school. It said especially a charm or a sacred object held to have wonder or working power. So Dr. Pastor says, yes, okay, I understand that's a definition for Zogos, but why not look at it from the Liberian perspective? So let's look at Zogos as children that are sacred or holy to the people of Liberia, especially as children that are smart and have wonder working power if Liberia shall rise. If Liberia shall someday rise, we want to look at Zogos as people that have wonder working power, folks. That's my definition of what we call Zogos, and I'm sticking to it. You know, nobody defines Zogo for us in Liberia. This is how Dr. Positive is defining Zogos, and I said I'm sticking to it. These are people that are very, very important to our country, and we need to take them, we need to value them. We need to really, really, really value them. So now, why do we classify them as Zogos? Why do we classify them as Zogos? For those of you watching who are not Liberians, from my experience, I think Zogos are people who might have been orphans. Zogos are people who might have been led astray for some reason that society haven't yet defined. Right, but because they might have been orphans and they don't have no place to stay, the country don't have shelters for them, they decide to find their own place, right? So some of them, they said they live in a graveyard, some of them live on the streets, some of them live in the market areas, right? These are people that are finding their own way in life, but the country don't have no solution for them, so they have to find their own place. They don't have money enough to say they will rent an apartment. They don't have money to go and find places to live. So some of these guys actually live on their own on the streets. Now, some of them, again, as they get deep into the thing called Zogo, they find ways to make money through either robbery, stealing, or washing people's car. Some of them are doing good things. Some of them are washing people's cars. Some of them become house boys. Some of them become house help and help people. But on the grand scale, These are people that are either homeless, they don't have homeless shelters to live in, so they live on their own on the street. Now, these people then turn around and become either armed robbers, they become thieves and all those stuff. But my thing is, if someone sat down and said, hey, this is a problem. We see these people, we see these children, they are on drugs, they might be on drugs, they might be on the street. What can we do as a government? What can we do to help these people out? What can we do to solve the problem that we are seeing coming to Liberia? What are these children? How did they get on the street? Right? People start investigating and trying to find solution to the problem of Zogos, and then eventually they will create opportunities for them. Right? So the reason for this show is, folks, we don't believe that automatically Liberia will rise. These are some of the problems that we need to fix if Liberia should rise. If Liberia should rise, we need to look at our people that are suffering and say, how can we provide homeless shelters? There might be an orphan out there. There's an orphanage home and not take that child. But if an orphanage home is not available, what about the government? What are we doing as a government to help our children that are home that are in homeless shelters, our children that are on the street? What are we doing as a government? I mean, we can have all the non-profit in the world, right, that will come and help. Those non-profit come and leave. But what happened to our own people, our own children, our own government? What policies are we putting in place to help these children, right? If Liberia should rise, I'm saying we have to make this a priority. We have to make this an issue, because we cannot just wait for it to get bad before we start taking actions, right? So we need to start now, start planning to say, hey, there are people that are living on the streets. And in society, every society, even in the great United States, there are people that live on the street. But some cities say, hey, we're going to have a homeless shelter. Now, if the homeless shelter run out of space, then people will go on the street, right? Which then is a problem that will eventually be taken care of. So every year, the city of Dallas actually do a count. They do a count of how many people are living on the street. Then they decide to put in resources to help those people to get out of the street. So every year, if you listen, sometime I think either someone or so that they go out and actually count how many people live on the street in Dallas, how many people live on the streets in Hewlett, how many people live on the streets in Fort Worth, right? Once that is determined, once that is determined, then the city council, the city will come together and say, hey, we have 1,000 people that are homeless in our city. So can we come up with 1,000 vouchers that will then give to these people for them to get off the street? Because it's not safe for them to be on the street, because in America it gets cold. There's winter, right? So these people need to get off the street, or else we'll find people laying in the community dead. So then they then find places for those people to live. And sometimes they even have other ex-service people, like the military, those who serve in the military, those who serve in Iraq, all these places, in World War II veterans. Some of them were living on the streets, right? So they now have systems in place that will help provide resources for some of these people. So again, when I said Liberia shall rise, I don't believe that we have a magic wand that the positive is just going to wave and say, hey, everything is okay, automatically Liberia going to rise. No, Liberia will not rise if we don't take actions that are needed for Liberia to rise. Now, some of the actions are, who are the people that are homeless in our country? That's the question we need to ask. If we ask that question, how many people are homeless in our country, then we will try to find solution to those people that are homeless, right? If we know how many people are homeless, then we can say, all right, let's build some homeless shelter, right? Or let's build some homes that will host people that cannot afford to pay their own rent, but then they have to do some service for the government, right? Okay, for example, if the government is providing you free living space, then maybe you can now be the one that will do the cleaning of the streets, right? The government pick you guys up at 8 o'clock in the morning. You're going to sweep the street. You're going to sweep the streets. After that, they take you back home, and they maybe give you some padam at the end of the month for you to find food to eat, right? So we're not going to do anything for free and say we'll just build a homeless shelter and put people that we have to teach them how to work. What made them to get on the street in the first place? Those are the questions we start asking And then once we start finding answers, for example, if we find out that somebody got on the street because they were an orphan, their mom and pa died, their uncles didn't take them, their aunts didn't take them, or they had no family members at all to cater to them, then we can say, all right, what can we do when a mother and a father pass away? We start putting in solutions to have those problems taken care of. But folks, Liberia cannot rise. Liberia cannot rise if we don't take care of some of these problems, especially the Zogos. Now, one danger I'm going to tell you guys today. You know, I said my name is Dr. Positive, but it doesn't mean that I don't believe in reality. The reality is, if we do not take actions to solve the problem of Zogos on the streets of Monrovia, eventually we'll have a lot of armed robbery going on in Liberia. And by the time some of us say, oh, I'm retired and I'm going to live in Liberia now, it will be too late, because those kids will be armed robbers. They will be thieves. They will be so bad that we won't be able to change them. So Dr. Positive is admonishing everybody that is in government. I'm asking you guys, I'm appealing to you guys to take actions and help the children that are called Zogos. Because if you don't take actions now, if you don't do anything to help them, these kids will become armed robbers. These kids will become rogues. These kids will become a menace to society that we all will regret in the future. So in order for us to not regret this in the future, let's do something now to solve this problem called Zogos. We gave them a name called Zogos. I understand we have to classify them, but that classification is wrong. Eventually, we have to do everything in our power to erase the name Zogos from our streets. We need to do everything in our power to take these guys off the street. Because if we do not do it now, I bet you 10, 15 years from now, when you have your home, you have to put like double, triple security, because they will have known how to break the simple fence. They will know how to turn off your security. They will know how to do all those stuff. So even if you have security cameras, they will hack into your security camera and turn those cameras off and come and steal your stuff, right? And they won't mind even taking lives. You understand? People are already dying because of these guys. And we say it's not a problem. It is a problem. If Liberia should rise, we have to fix the problem for Zogos. Now, I've been talking, folks. If you're just joining me, this is Liberia Should Rise. This is Dr. Positive. Please share the video. Invite somebody. Tell people that Liberia Should Rise is focusing on issues that will help Liberia to become better. What are the things that are going on in our community that we can promote, right? So if you want to participate, the number is on the screen here. You can call in. It's 682-503-9906. It's 682-503-9906, or send me a request and I can bring you on video. All right. So if you want to come on video, let me know and I can send you the link for you to actually come on video. And I would love to have you. So the number is here passing on the screen, 682-503-9906. Call in and I would like to hear your point of view on this topic. Why do you think it's important for us to handle the issues of Zogos in Liberia, the folks that we classify as Zogos in Liberia? And again, one question here is, what are the social implications if we do not take care of Zogos in Liberia? Now, imagine I'm a father. I didn't go to school, and I have my children. I know how to hustle. Hustling is all I know. When I have children, eventually I'm going to teach them how to hustle. That's all I'm going to teach them. So now we're going to have a generation upon generation of Zogos, right? If we don't take care of them, you understand? So we need to start taking immediate actions, trying to create resources. What are those things that we can do as Liberians, as a country? What can we do to say we can take care of these kids? Now, we first need to count them. How many kids do we have in Liberia that is living on the street that we know as Zogos? We need to count them first, right? After we count them and know how many people we have as Zogos, then we can say, all right, we need to start finding solutions. What can we do? If they need housing, we need to now find a place for them to live. If they need jobs, we need to try to find jobs for them to do. Now, what I said, my suggestion here is, this is a problem. This is a problem. And in order for us to find a solution, we have to first know what the problem is by counting the Zogos. Once we know how many Zogos we have, the next thing we can do now is say, all right, the country needs to grow rice. We take these Zogos, take them on the farm on Monday through Friday to grow food for us. We bring them back to the city. Or we can, that's how even Liberia can decentralize. We take them to the farm. While they are making, they have a place to stay, they have a place to grow their family, they have homes that they live in, and then if they want to come like Monrovia, we can bring them down to Monrovia. But again, in order for Liberia to rise, we have to start thinking that Liberia is Monrovia. We cannot build cities by taking people and making them to work and start making their livelihood in different communities. People will start finding ways to survive in those areas. So for example, Buchanan, there's no need for me to leave from Buchanan to go all the way to Monrovia to go on the beach, right? There's no need. So if there's a beach in Buchanan, we develop that beach and make it where people start having fun. And I know those things are happening. I'm just using that as an example, right? So we start doing things that people, entertainment, we start creating entertainment spots for people in those different counties. And that's how people are going to want to stay in those places. They will go to other places once in a while, but I live in Texas. I don't jump up and all the time go to California to say I'm going to party. I stay in Texas. I have fun. I go to California. I go there and check out what they have for entertainment. You understand? So that's how we have to look at Liberia if Liberia should rise. Now, we have to make it mandatory. These are problems that this is a problem that our country have. So if we find out how many Zogos we have, automatically we register them. If some of them are already out of high school, we register them to say you have to go to LOIC, you have to go to Don Bosco, you have to go to Stella Marie or MVDC. These are places that we register all the Zogos that we know are able to go to school. When they go to that school, the government pay for it. When the government pay for that program, after those children graduate for maybe 2-3 years while they are working, the government can probably hire them and say, all right, you guys are going to be the one that will paint all the government buildings, right? And then you will get 10% off of what you're supposed to make as your regular salary. And then through that, after they have paid over time, maybe within 2 years, then they can graduate out of the government program. Then the government hire new people or bring in new people, right? The issue of Zogo might never go away, right? People will be homeless. In every country, there are homeless people. People will be drug addicts. In every country, there are drug addicts, right? But if we don't do anything to solve the problem, if we don't attempt to solve the problem, if we don't attempt to fix the problem, then it becomes a big danger to society. So in order for us to start looking at the future of Liberia, the Liberia we seek when we say Liberia shall rise, the Liberia that we anticipate when we say Liberia shall rise, we need to start looking at these small problems that could lead to major issues in Liberia. So again, folks, this is my idea. This is my thought. I want to hear your thought. If you have the time, call in at 682-503-9906, 682-503-9906. Again, the number is 682-503-9906. I'm going to post it. And then let me pin that number for you guys. You can call in 682-503-9906 or hit me up. Let me bring you on video also, because in order for Liberia to rise, it has to be all of us participating. This is not just Dr. Positive's thing. This is not just my thing. Liberia shall rise has to be all of us thing. We all have to participate in the effort for Liberia to rise. Right now, what will happen, folks? What will happen if we ignore who we call Zogos? If we ignore the people we call Zogos, what will happen? What will happen if we ignore the people that we call Zogos in Liberia? I heard when you go to Liberia, or even in Ghana, it's happening too. When you go to these countries, you have to protect your cell phone. You have to protect your bags and all those stuff, right? Now imagine in this day and age, if these guys are already doing something like that, where they can actually slap your ear and take your bag. I know this was happening in normal time. People will say this was happening in normal time, but this is not, it hasn't stopped, right? Because we as a people have not found solution to the street boys, the boys that live on the street. We have not tried to find a solution to those boys and say, what can we do to prevent them from living on the street, right? What can we do to stop them from living on the street? What can we do to take them off the streets, right? So they will still be on the street, right? We have to do something. Now, like I said, if we do not do anything, these guys will become armed robbers. They will now be brave enough to come to your home at night, right? And don't care what happened when they get there, right? So we need to start taking immediate action. This is a social issue. It's a major social issue. Before we start inviting people to come to Liberia, before tourism increase, we need to make sure that we stop some of these problems, because Liberia is on the rise. People are interested in Liberia, but before people start coming plenty, we have to start taking actions and making sure that these same kids that we are calling Zogo today can be serving our tourists as they come to Liberia. So we need to start preparing them. If they are drug addicts, we need to take them to treatment centers so they can get off drugs, right? But then we cannot just treat them and let them sit there. We have to make sure that they have issues, they have a community. They have a community, and also they have jobs. Because if the person is just sitting there idle, eventually this person will go back to whatever they were doing before. You understand? So in order for Liberia to rise, I'm actually telling us to take action and solve the problem of Zogos. What we call Zogos today in Liberia, we need to take immediate action. Right? Some of the things we need to do is determine the root cause. What were some of the problems that led these children to where they are today? What were some of the issues? What were some of the things that made them what they are today? Right? Then we need to create job training program for them. Constantly finding out. Once we know how many Zogos we have in Liberia, we can now say, all right, every year we're going to provide 100 jobs for 100 Zogos, right? If we know that there's 10,000 of them, we're going to say we now have to create 10,000 jobs just for the people that we call Zogos. We have to find homeless shelters. If they are living on the street, we have to find shelter for them to make them to have a better life, right? Help them. If there's something that led them to taking drugs, we need to help them, kind of retrain their minds for them to get off the street and become productive citizens. Right. So these are the things that Dr. Positive is proposing. I see a lot of people watching on here, and I see all of you guys. I know you mean well for Liberia. So even if you don't want to come live, or you're busy, you don't want to come live, you are just listening. But think about this: if you know somebody out there that is in government, that works, that you have a telephone conversation with, call them and ask them. Say, hey guys, what are you guys doing about Zogos in Liberia? What are you doing about Zogos in Liberia? This is a major issue. Even if you don't want to claim credit against it, Dr. Positive said this is an issue. This is an issue that we need to take care of, right? This is an issue that we need to take care of. So you need to start taking action. Your people that are running for office in Liberia, you need to start asking them. We have so many boys on the street, or even those that have already come to the Zogos to get them elected. You need to go to their office and say, hey, you elected us. We elected you. You came to us to ask you to get elected, to help you to get elected. You are elected today. What are you doing for us as Zogos? You call us Zogo, but what are you doing to help create jobs for us? What opportunities are you guys creating? Hey, Muna, welcome, brother. Welcome. Thanks for watching. Again, everybody watching, I just want to say thank you for joining Dr. Positive. As I get to the end of this show, I just want to ask you, folks, what is going to be your role in the rise of Liberia? And what are you going to do to help us solve the problem of Zogos? This is a big, major problem. We cannot ignore it. If Liberia should rise, we cannot ignore the issues of Zogos. We cannot ignore the issues of Zogos if Liberia should rise. We need to do something, and it's urgent. It's as urgent as anything else. Even providing food for our people is urgent. We need to take urgent actions to make sure that our boys and our girls are taken care of, that our children are handled, are taking care of. Those who lost their parents, by them losing their parents in society, shouldn't make it the end of their life, or shouldn't make it the end of their contribution to society. We should enable these people to be able to contribute to society. So this is my plea to the government of Liberia. This is my plea to anybody who have the capability or the power to help these kids that are out on the streets, that are living in the graveyard. This is my plea to you. I'm looking right at you as you watch this video. If you have the power, if you have the skill, if you have the capability in Liberia to create opportunities for these kids, please do something so that in order for Liberia to rise, we can make sure that our children are not left behind. No child is left behind in the rise of Liberia that we seek. This is my plea to you today. So I want to end the show here, folks. I have a lot to take care of. I have a prepare actually for a show tomorrow that is very dear to me also. So my purpose for this show is to just say the Liberia we seek has so much work for us to do. The Liberia we seek has so much work for us to do. And our parents never prepared the Liberia that we want to see. Our great-grandfathers didn't prepare the Liberia that we want to see. So in order for us to see that Liberia that we want to see, we have to start looking at these key issues that are facing Liberia that we can fix in order for Liberia to rise. So this is just one of the millions issues that we have to fix. So folks, in your power, as you do business in Liberia, as you plan to go and establish businesses in Liberia, consider the boys that are on the street. Consider those children that are living in a graveyard because their mother or father passed away, or because their father is a Zogo and he cannot take care of them. Right? Consider those children in your planning as well, so that we can help make our country better. Now, these children, the generation of Zogos that we will leave if we don't do anything, folks, these will become thieves. These will become rogues. These will become a lot of bad things that society now wants. But some of them will become better. They will strive on their own to become better. But how can we just leave them and say, hey, you're everybody for themselves, God for all? No, we cannot do that. We need to start taking actions now to make sure that these kids have the opportunity that they can make themselves better someday in life. And I just want to leave you with the definition that I came up with what is called Zogos, folks. Let's look at Zogos as children that are secret, right? That are sacred and holy to the people of Liberia, especially the children they are children that are smart and have wonder working power. If Liberia should rise someday, we have to have value for our Zogos or our children. We cannot leave anybody out in order for Liberia to rise, folks. So I want to thank you this afternoon or evening, wherever you are. Thank you for joining us on this show. I would just like to share tomorrow's topic with you. We have a topic tomorrow that we'll be discussing. Tomorrow, we're actually talking about Dr. Positive himself. Who is Dr. Positive? I'm interested in knowing who Dr. Positive is. I want to know who this guy is. And why does he think Liberia will rise? Why does he think Liberia will rise? Right? That's an important topic we'll be discussing. And next week, Saturday, I will have a young lady on the show. Her name is Erica Sandy. She's a carpenter, she's a mechanic, and she's a furniture manufacturer. She's going to be on the show next week. Her name is Erica Sandy. And like I said, these are some of her work, right? We'll be talking about reducing poverty through trade. So please join me and let's have this great topic tomorrow. If you have the time at 5 p.m. Central, please join the show. And let's talk about some of the things that are impacting our country and what are some of the things that we can do as Liberians to help Liberia to rise. Again, I want to thank all of you that join me. I see a whole lot of people, my strong supporters on here. Please share the video. Tell somebody about Liberia should rise. Dr. Positive want to say thank you for taking up your time to spend the afternoon with me. I'll be on live tomorrow at 5 p.m. and we'll be talking about the man, Dr. Positive. Who is he? Why does he think Liberia should rise? So I want to end here again. I want to say thank you. Have a great weekend. And someday we all will be here to see Liberia rise if we do the little things that we need to do to make sure that Liberia rise. So again, thank you, and have a blessed day.